for some of you guys to pop up. About to break in some shoes, break in a board. Let me just give it a minute or two for somebody to get in here. And we're gonna break this new deck in, and these shoes show a little bit of how I break in my setups. Hopefully this will be like useful for some of you guys. What's up? I see somebody's in the live. About to break in some shoes and a deck. So I got some crazy glue over here. Just gonna open up the crazy glue. What up, K10? Just about to go through my routine when I have new shoes and a new board real quick, and then skate. So obviously the first thing that I do to my shoes, if I'm smart, is crazy glue them. So what's up everybody else that just joined? Just I'm on a new deck and some new shoes, and right now I'm gonna glue them. So the first thing that I glue is the seams here on the outside of my popping shoe. So these are the chucks that don't have the rubber toe cap, thankfully. And I'm gonna glue about to the center. So if you look at the shoe, I glue from here to here over the stitches. I'm gonna put some glue also here, right over there, just to keep this locked in. It's on this light color of shoe where I glued here, it's gonna show up, but I don't really care. And then I'm gonna glue the shoelace, which this is probably the most important part, to be honest. Because like the shoelaces, I rip shoelaces. I think the last live stream that I did for you guys, I ripped my shoelace. So yeah, the shoelaces are a big one. And basically on the first lace right here, I go all the way to the center. Second lace, I go about to here. Third one, I go about to here, and that's it. So now we're all glued up, and I'm just gonna put the crazy glue away real quick. How's the weather, everybody? How's the weather wherever you guys are? Anybody who's in here? Because it's pretty scorching out here for the past few days. So I've also got this brand new deck. NY is hot as fuck. Yeah. I heard my mom's in Texas. I talked to her. She said it's ridiculously hot. My pops is in Nebraska. He said it's hot. It's midnight there. Well, hey, if it's midnight, Arnold, thank you so much for being in here, because you definitely don't have to at midnight, and I really appreciate you checking this out. I'm gonna assume you're an insomniac like myself sometimes. But I'm gonna get a quick little stretch. I don't do a crazy stretch when I like right before I skate, because I get the blood rolling first, you know? So, but I like to get my ankles, get certain parts. Woo, my ankles are popping because I'm old and I've been doing this too long. Get some lunge action going. I like to keep my stretches mobile and dynamic, like not the static stuff when I'm gonna skate. Now we got a little bit of a breeze. Whew. All right, get a little bit of skating done. So let's see, what are you guys saying on here? Past 2 summers had an excessive heat warning every day. Wow, that's insane. 95 here in Texas. That's about right. It was like 90 here a couple days ago, and that was unbearable. So I feel for you with that 95-degree weather. Wow. So let's check this board out. So I've got prototype shape from Club Distribution. About to hit the streets in the park, Keaton. That's dope. And do that exact stretch routine. Hell yeah. I got Ace 44s on here. I got Acid Chemical Wheel 53s. And what else have I got? I've got, this is like prototype wood from Club Distribution. And 27 degrees Celsius exactly. I have no idea how to calculate that. And I got a sheet of clear Jessup on top. I remember learning how to calculate that back in the day, but I don't remember how to calculate Celsius to Fahrenheit anymore. Yep, got a sesh when the sun starts to go down. Oh, I bet. So I like to start off on this parking block, right? Just some cruising over the block. Those are always fun, and they feel nice, you know? Just going over the block, going over the little parking block, and trying to keep everything nice. Now my trucks are like ridiculously loose right now. Let's see if you can see. They are like, I'm getting so much wheel bite. I will possibly tighten them up right now just because it's horrible. It's awful. So let's tighten up the trucks a bit. And let's be a shill for a minute too. So I freaking love this Ace Trucks tool. This thing. Like I used to kind of rep the tool with the crank. I can't remember who makes that tool with the crank anymore, but you guys know which ones I'm talking about. The tools where there's a crank for the screws or for the nuts of the hardware. But since I got this thing, it's just so easy. So I'm gonna tighten them up a bit. They're like so loose that I couldn't skate them at first, so give it a little bit, and then I'm gonna do some simple board slides on the flat bar. This board feels really tiny right now just because it's the 8.3, and I was rocking the same 8.5 setup for like weeks, and that one needs to be changed too now, so I had to rep this one day. So let's go skate the flat bar a little bit and do like absolutely nothing on it because I'm terrified at the moment. Does heat loosen, tighten your trucks naturally over time? If it's really hot, you'll start to feel it in your bushings, and it's depending on your wheels, yeah, you'll feel, your wheels can feel weird too. But for me, like my board just gets naturally loose anyway because of my weight and just how much weight I'm putting down on the putting down on the board. So I really just have to suck it up and deal with it. All right, we're gonna skate the flat bar a little bit. Let me get a good angle. Flat bars are scary for the first time. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I first come out to skate a flat bar, it's always terrifying to me. I don't know. But get some more board slides, start feeling good. There we go. I do more. Flat bar. My bearings naturally get super tight sometimes when it's really hot out. It's weird. Nice backside. Thank you. That's crazy. Your bearings, maybe some WD-40 or something would help. Not sure. Man. So I'm gonna skate the little Hubba. There's a little Hubba. It's on the double set that I skated the other day. And if you guys notice, I'm not doing any flip tricks yet, right? And there's a reason for that. I gotta wear down my kicks a little bit before I start with all the flip tricks, because Converse are very grippy shoes, and if I were to start with flip tricks right now, I probably wouldn't be able to flick through them every try. So I'm gonna do more and more ollie tricks, and then we'll get to the flip tricks. But let's skate this little Hubba a bit. Skate the Hubba. do some nose slides, back 50s, crooked grinds, stuff like that. Make sure y'all can see. And I think that's good. All right, let's do it. First one down, something always feels good. I'm gonna do a bunch of nose slides. I feel like Chad Muska every time I nose slide a Hubba. Those just feel great. Those just feel great, right? Like they just, now you can't fade the Muska. No, you can't. He's the man. He gave me my first like real sponsorship opportunities, and he's always been a solid guy to me and in my opinion. Greetings from Poland, always killing it. I don't know how to pronounce it. I watched enough MMA and seen how Michael Olajejczyk's name is spelled versus how it's pronounced, or Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Jan Blachowicz isn't so bad, but I've seen enough of those Polish names written out that I don't want no smoke. But greetings from Los Angeles. Thank you for watching. Let's do some 50-50s, some backside 50-50s. Trucks to metal feels so good always. The basics. Basic tricks feel good, you guys. They feel so good. And it's so good for your control if you just rep out basic tricks over and over. Let's have one going up, huh? Oh, it's just Norman Woods. Yeah, Norman_Woods on Instagram, and then just Norman Woods on the regular.
TikTok.
Huh?
TikTok.
Yeah, it's the same. Norman_Woods. Yeah.
I'm gonna look you up.
Yeah. Thank you. I kind of wussed out because a little bit of a shorter board, but let's get that grind up. Third time is the charm though. Let's get it. I don't think my back truck grinded on that one, so I'm gonna do it again. There we go. Both trucks on. Came off all right. Mandatory water now. I need some water. Nope. So we're gonna have to figure out something for requests because you guys like to request, and maybe people who donate, I'll do their requests. Maybe there'll be a portion for that, but I don't think I'm doing any requests today, especially not fresh board, fresh shoes. Like, if you're watching, I'm not doing any flip tricks yet. Do you think a lot before doing trucks, or do you just blank out? When I was younger and less experienced, I blanked out. But that's just kind of a function of the tricks speed by you when you're fresh. But for me, when I'm doing a trick, it's almost like everything slows down. So I'm thinking about every little tiny, oh my bad. I'm thinking about every tiny little aspect of the trick before I do it. And if I lose my focus, that's usually when it doesn't go right. So yeah, I'm thinking pretty deeply before every single trick. Let's do crooked grind and then switch over to front side. You guys can't see it, but I just hit a piece of mulch and almost died. That was pretty bad. It just feels so good. Like, usually I prefer rails to Hubbas, but the friction you get from the Hubba is just so nice, the sound that it makes. Let me get one more of those crooked grinds. Let's see. You know what? I'm having so much fun with the crooks. I'm gonna see how many I can do before my legs feel like falling off. So that was 3. No, you got it. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me at all. It's all you. You got it. Yeah. Number 4. I'll take it. We got 4. Let's get some water. Kickflip crook, you guys with the request. I've been trying switch lasers during a few of my last sessions. Just can't put my back foot on it. Getting new tech tricks is not easy when you're 30 plus. I mean, it's never easy. I've actually been trying to get tricks back. I haven't done a switch laser flip in I don't know how long, but the regular ones, I did for quite a while, and then I laser flipped a 9 stair, and then I laser flipped a 4 block that was a little bit bigger than the 9 stair, and I just retired them. But as the consequence of the lasers, my varial heels went to crap, and then I stopped doing laser flips, and then I was like, oh man, I missed it. Now I'm not as good at a trick that I used to love. Reynolds just taps 3 times to clear his mind and goes for a trick. Yeah, he taps 3 times. It's like a habit. We all have our habits. Like, I know when I'm trying really hard and it gets frustrating, I like to make sure that I step with my right foot first. Or I'm sorry, that I step with the left foot first when I'm gonna throw down. So the left foot is the opposite foot of the one that I'm gonna drop on the board. And yeah, we all have those things, but it doesn't necessarily clear my mind, because you can't have your mind be clear when you're going for a trick. If your mind was actually clear, that's when bad things happen. It's just you want to be hyper focused and you want to clear out all the excess noise. So you want your mind to be relatively clear of all of the external things besides the trick that you're trying, so you can focus on just that trick. The older I've got, the better I've gotten at it though. Like cars going by, people honking their horns, stuff like that in the streets, dogs barking, doesn't bother me at all anymore. Whereas maybe 15 years ago, it would have freaked me out. I'd be throwing my board around, all kinds of stuff like that. The better you get at blocking everything out, the easier it is. Let's do some frontside stuff. I got about 13 minutes. I got 11 minutes before I got to teach a lesson. So let's cram some stuff in. Somebody said kickflip crook. I don't think I'm going to do any flip tricks, but maybe next time I'll let you guys call out tricks. People who give a donation, I'll do a trick. But they're going to have to be reasonable tricks. I have to figure out a way, because if you ask me to do something that I don't want to do, I'm definitely not going to do it. So maybe there's a way to refund the money or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But let's do some tricks. No, I'm not flipping in or out of anything today though, because this is just a session to break in my board, keeping it mellow. Let's nose slide up the hubba. Well, actually, let me grind down it first, because I don't know if it's even slick. So this one, not very slick for the nose. It's slick enough to grind, but I guess the nose slide ain't gonna work. I should have brung some wax. Maybe some 5-0. Oh yeah. Living by care. It's like almost 100 degrees here, so I probably won't be able to skate. Benjamin Botello, thank you. Maybe some 5-0s. Yeah, I'll do some more 5-0s. Tail slide, front nose. Doesn't seem like it wants me to nose slide up it today. So, all right. Five-O's are fun. Five-O's are fun. I love how you can just ollie kind of out to a 5-0 down a hubba. Like you just kind of ollie out to it, push your tail. God love for your brother, so glad to catch this live. Switch backside big spin. Ooh, those are crazy. 5-0 is 5-0 or BS 5-0? Well, front side 5-0 for me. Backside 5-0s are fine. I like the front side ones. Now on a rail, I can only do like a back salad. I can't even do a 5-0 at all on a handrail anymore. I would do it, but I would struggle. It would take me forever. Let's get a front nose down this. Hopefully slick enough. It worked. It worked. It was sloppy though. I'm gonna do a couple more because that was real sloppy. That was a little better, just a little better. Let's do one more front nose. Not too bad, not too bad. That one didn't feel too bad. So scary on a rail. The 5-0s are, yeah, they are very, very scary on rails. Man, I wish I could skate this ledge for you guys, but I thought I had wax in my little pack and I don't have any. And this ledge is like basically a street ledge, so you gotta really wax it. The edge is chunky. That's why I like it, because it's basically like skating street, and looks hella good. Yeah, it does look hella good. All the 5-0s look good. They're just, it's one of those tricks where when you have them, they're not very difficult, but they just look and feel amazing. But I mean, to be real with you, most tricks feel amazing. The look thing is where you get into weird territory, because, you know, there's tricks that I can do that I don't do because they don't look good for me to do them. And that's just like, so a thing that's kind of hard for people to understand about skating when you're first starting out and you see people do tricks, like, sometimes it's not even tricks that you like more, that you do more. It's just that, like, you're just accumulating damage throughout the whole time you're skating. Like, I was actually recording a podcast with my my good friend who I grew up skating with, and he's my MMA coach now. And one of the fighters on the MMA team, his name is Chris London. He's on a reality show right now. And we're just talking about like skating and about fighting and about how like they train to peak. So if you're going to take a fight, you have a fight camp, you're training and you're ramping up and down your training at specific points based on you being able to peak for a fight. But me as a skater, like throughout my career, when I'm putting out video parts, Smith and Feeble feels amazing. When I'm putting out video parts, it's like I'm gonna start out as fresh as I'll ever be during the filming of the video, and especially if you have a deadline. And so I'm basically trying to, like, I usually write down my tricks when I'm filming a video part, and it's the tricks that I've written down that are the ones that I end up getting, you know? And when I don't write stuff down, you either forget to do it or for whatever reason it doesn't happen. But I try to do the tricks that require me to be the freshest when I first start out, and then check everything else off down the line, because if I'm filming for 6 months, my body's gonna be so damaged, you know? And so like with skating, like it's not what you're capable of doing, it's what you're gonna be able to do a lot of the times. And like a lot of tricks, like tricks that I did when I was younger, can't really do them now. Like you guys saw on the flat ground one, where the frontside flips just don't work for me ever since I got the knee surgery. And I might get a day where I can land 3 or 4 of them, but they'll never feel like they did when pre-knee surgery I could frontside flip over a lunch table, you know? And that's just a fact of me being an old athlete. You know, I've done this for 26 years, and it takes a toll on your body. And so it's just like that with tricks. Skateboarding or more cardio? I don't think so. Because like with skating, it's long bursts. It's definitely some form of cardio. Like I can burn in a really heavy session over the course of an hour, like 1,200 calories, right? Which it's very rare for you to be able to do that. So there is quite a bit of cardio involved, but it's bursts of intense cardio as opposed to like steady state cardio, low intensity steady state cardio. But also it's extremely demanding mentally, and so that makes your body work even harder. Smart idea. I'm gonna try this out for spots and tricks. Write them down. Oh, you guys, anything in your life that you want to accomplish, you absolutely have to write down. This is something else we're talking about on the podcast. Like me, when I knew like I was gonna film a video part, I wrote down sponsors that I wanted. I wrote down spots that I wanted to skate, tricks that I wanted to do on those spots, and it's always the stuff that I wrote down that ended up happening. What are some solid tricks for building comfort, confidence, balance, etc. with the board, but aren't too difficult for a beginner to learn? I'm not talking about obvious tricks all beginners want to learn, like shoves, ollies, etc. So what I'm doing right now, that's how you build your confidence. Did you see how I was doing the most basic of tricks, but I was doing them over and over and over and multiple times each trick? That's how you build your confidence. So when I'm skating like this, like I do this often whenever I break in shoes or a new board, and I think of this like hitting pads, right? And if I come to do more, like you guys were calling out flipping out of stuff, that's like sparring, right? Like that's where it's getting heavy. This is like hitting pads, right? You hit pads to build confidence in your accuracy and in your form and to get comfortable with a rhythm kind of. And so you want to do this. You want to come, and if you're a beginner, if you're only able to do ollies and shove-its and roll off curbs, you want to just do that stuff over and over and over again, right? And it might get tedious, but like if you're trying to build confidence, it will get tedious. The only way that you build confidence as a skater is through repetition. So you got to take tricks and movements. Paradox 82, I'm about going to skate. Yeah, have fun out there. Have fun out there. I don't know where my student is, so I'm gonna do some flat ground. I believe in this method as well. Benjamin Botello, thank you. I think anybody who's skated for long enough will understand this. And like with my own students, that's why when we learn a trick, if they land a trick at the beginning of our hour-long session, I'm gonna try to get them to land it 10 times by the end of the lesson, because doing it once, the first time you do it, it's never enough really. Like doing something once is never really gonna be enough. You gotta rep it out over and over and over. Purple Belt Grappler, 20-year skater here. Glad to have found your channel, bro. Sean Price, Jiu-Jitsu, sick. Thank you for checking out the channel. And purple belt, man. I hope I get there one day. You know, I'm like, honestly, with jiu-jitsu, with striking, with MMA, all that, I treat it so differently from skating. Like, I take it seriously when I'm there, but like, I love that, like, I'm too old to do anything with it. So I do it only for my enjoyment. Like, I'm learning to grapple just so I can be a better grappler. I'm learning Muay Thai and boxing just to have the skills. I'm not planning on doing anything with it. At some point, I was planning on taking an amateur fight. Maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't, but it's just for fun. So like, I hope I get there, but if I don't, I'm just like trying to enjoy the journey. Trying to, how long you been on? It's been about 41 minutes, Daniel. What up? What up? Yeah, let's do some flat ground. Just do a little bit of flat ground. You can still compete in Masters Division. That's so many people have told me that I should actually. Actually, my boys, they've been like, yeah, you should definitely compete in Masters, and I might do it. It's just now it's so much fun to learn, and it's so much fun to be humbled by people and to be pushed, to be held down at certain points, and then to figure out how to shrimp out of something, to figure out how to get well, I'm not gonna get into jiu-jitsu stuff here. Let's do some flat ground, but I'm just having fun being a beginner, because it's like it's really like a fortunate position to be in, to be a beginner. Like I think a lot of beginners forget or nobody ever makes it clear to them how special it is to be a beginner, because once you pass that beginner level, it only gets harder in anything. But let's do some flat ground, people. Second one didn't though. Kick flips. I love kick flips. That last kickflip started to feel kind of crazy. When should I try to start learning switch? I can do pop shoves, ollies, goofy, but can barely push and ride switch. I'd say start riding switch now, and don't worry about the tricks. Quick tip on getting varial heels to completely flip. Well, I would have to see your varial heel to tell you exactly, but you gotta think of tricks like varial heel as both tricks working in tandem. So you might be quick to think it's because of your front foot with the varial heel. I'll do a couple in a minute after I finish explaining this, but it could be your back foot. So if you're not pushing down and then shoveling outward, like in that front side shove it position motion hard enough, then it's not going to flip all the way either. So it could be because you're not being accurate with your front foot. Like you want to, it's a heel flip, but also you want to rotate your varial heel circularly. So I'm going to, and then, yeah, but you got to troubleshoot it and see which one it is. Heel flip, I'll do one. you got a mean impossible. We'll see if I can do one of those with this little board. And I got bodied Sunday evening. I was done, landed everything I knew how to do. Then tried one more trick on the flat bar, had no pop left and landed right on my hip. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been there also. Oh, also, when you do kickflips, are you popping away or at an angle to pull the board back up a bit to make it easier to flick? Sorry for the barrage of questions. So with the kickflip, in the beginning, now, I try to flick straight, and I do the ankle rolling, flicking out of my ankle just before I get to the nose so that the tip of my toes flicks off the edge of the nose. But as my energy wanes, I have to do the kickflip more off the side of the board because it's easier to flip that way. And as a beginner, you want to flip off the side of the board. Now, when I'm flipping into, let's say, a back tail or a backside lip slide, anything like that, I'm gonna flip off the side of the board because it flips easier, like I said. And I'm also going to angle my foot. So if the board is going forward this way, my foot's across it this way, I'm gonna angle my foot towards the nose a little bit more and have my heel hanging off the board more when I'm flipping into like those back lips, back tails, back smiths, anything like that. All right, quick. I'm gonna do a heel flip and then a varial heel flip for that varial heel question. Heel flips are hard today. Wow. That was so harsh. And this board is only slightly a different shape than the one before, and it's awful. Here we go. Whenever you change shapes, it didn't change my kickflip much at all. My heel flip is trash, whereas the other day I was landing heel flips easier. So I'm actually going to land 2 more of them since I'm struggling so much. Better heel flip, but it didn't feel any better. Terrible. So awful heel flips for me today. Awful. Just atrocious heel flips. Now, this is how do you get good at ollieing without looking at your feet? I look at my feet. You shouldn't be skating without looking at your feet. You're just asking for trouble. You have to, when you're trying to skate an obstacle, you have to learn how to look down and ahead. So I'm gonna roll at the phone. I'm looking ahead and then I'm looking down. And when I'm looking down and then I look back out. At no point when I did all of those tricks on the Hubba, I look out at the Hubba, I glance at it, and then I'm looking back down at my board. And I know when to pop because when the Hubba's in focus and my board is. You've gotta develop a habit of looking at your feet. Otherwise, you're gonna impede all your progress. Yeah, especially the more technical the tricks you're trying, you got to be able to look to see where the board's flipping and when to catch it. And you have to, it's a dance between your feet and the board. So if you don't know where the board is, you won't know where to catch it. I can do a kickflip without looking at the board, but who knows? Maybe I'll land a couple of them and then I'll primo one and fall on my ass. So it's not worth it. It's a gamble and it's not precise. You have to feel it, the motion, the moving, learning by doing and falling on your face. You don't have to fall on your face, I wouldn't say. You don't really want to do that. That's necessary for certain stuff. Nose manual, there's nothing for me to nose manual really. I mean, I can do one for you on flat ground if you like, but I gotta do a varial heel first. So let's get a varial heel. Well, I'll nose manual out of frame and then I do a couple more of those varial heels. So if you guys watch those varial heels, you'll see that my back foot was just as active as, my back foot was just as active as my front foot in those. And if you're having trouble flipping it all the way, it's probably because you're not using them well together. Can't wait to be able to do varial flip tricks. They always look like they're satisfying. They're very satisfying. What is the best? You have to convince yourself it is mostly a mental thing if you have the basics. What is the best advice to start backside tail slides? How does your shoulder rotate? Okay, let me try to set up the phone so you guys can see it. And I'll do some of these as stalls. So basically when you start, you wanna start on something low. You wanna bend as low as you can. And you really wanna use your shoulders to get in, so. So hopefully you guys were able to see that well enough to notice where all of my, where my shoulders were starting to rotate first. I was crouching and I'm very low when I pop. And being low when you pop is what allows you to control. Like if I'm turning into the back tail and my legs are straight up like this, it's not really gonna work. And then when I get in, I'm not gonna be able to come out. So, and I see you do a front nose slide. Biggest tip for front shove-its, it's your back foot. A lot of you guys, when you do front shove-its, you gotta get used to, let me flip the camera around. So my back foot's in here, and the most important thing is that I push down and forward. So someone should be able to see who's standing in front of you there. They should be able to see the bottom of your foot like that, right? That's gonna push the board around, right? And you gotta push it with a good even amount of pressure in order to keep the board stable. So I'm gonna do one front nose. I'll do a stall on the ledge in a second, but the front shove it, look at my back foot. It's all in the back foot. The front foot's only getting out of the way and catching. The reason the board comes around uniformly is because of how I use my back foot. So I squat, I start to stand up a little, I push down and forward. And it's literally shoving the board up. So my foot's going like this, down and forward. And I'm kind of pulling the board with it. So here we go again. You see how if you were in front of me, you would see the bottom of my foot? Of course I turn and mess the first one up. It's all in that back foot motion. Now, let's get you a little front nose stall. I don't have any wax, but it doesn't matter. Most of the time what you're gonna be struggling with is when you get on, your shoulders won't be parallel. My shoulders parallel, and then I come out. Really simple. Also, when I get into the front nose, my body's low, very low. If you're standing straight up while you're skating, that's probably a big source of the issue you have. So this is giving me control, right? That's why I'm in control of my board. It's all about my posture. Where I'm at, where my body is, where one part of my body is in relation to another, that's what allows me to control the board. Honest question from a middle piece. How can you skate long pants in that heat? I have to wear shorts. You don't have to wear shorts. It's just you condition yourself. So when I was younger, I would never wear shorts to skate. And I lived in the valley in the middle of a heat wave where we'd have like 100 to 110 degree weather. I wouldn't wear shorts. You condition yourself. Like any of you martial artists out there, you probably had a period where you were obsessed with Bruce Lee. And if you were, you know that he trained in street clothes. Why did he train in street clothes? Because if you got into a situation where you needed to defend yourself, you're gonna be in street clothes. I try to make it a point to take long walks and even jogs sometimes in street clothes and run upstairs and things like that because I skate in street clothes, so I condition myself. Now I do have rash guards for grappling, stuff like that. I do have like exercise shorts for when I'm doing things where I need all of my mobility, but yeah, if you want to skate in pants, then just skate in pants and try not to think about it. I'm also just a sweaty mofo no matter what. So no comply. Okay. I don't know which, sorry, I'm not gay, bro. I have no idea who you're talking to, but if it was me, I don't know what triggered that, and get out of here with that nonsense. I don't know what you're talking about. A no comply. Yeah, let me do a couple of them. So here's your step off. Here's this guy. Let's give it a backside one. Backside one didn't work. Struggling with the backside. There goes your backside. And now let's give you the shuffle. Those are always fun. Oh, wheels, yeah. Just a second. Oh, it's all good. Good answer. I tried it that way the last few days.
I thought that how you explained it right now, I would force myself because I am an old guy now and wearing shorts is not good for my shins. Oh man, exactly. My shins are so jacked up. Come on over here. Come on over here. So, woo. All right, we had the wheel contest on the channel, and this is your wheel winner.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for the support. Thank you for commenting. Like, we do some more of these contests in the future. But yeah, I'm kicking it and skating for a bit. So if you want to skate, I'm supposed to have 2 lessons. One of them didn't show up. I'm sure they've texted me something, but I've been doing this live stream, so I'm sure I'll see the excuse later. But yeah. But crypto, I have no idea. Inward heel, please. I'll probably not land it, but why not try it? So today, what size board and shoes are you rocking? That BS no comply was clean. Thank you. I got lucky. I suck at those. I'm better at the other ones. I skate in size 12. When I went to the running shoe store, the dude measured my foot and brought me 13s, but I'm just not going to skate in those because it's hard enough for me to be comfortable on a board in 12s, you know? And when I was younger, I would actually wear shoes that were a little bit too tight so that my toes would be right up against the edge of the shoe, because for kick flips, that feels better. But at my age, with how much skating and how much jumping I've done, my feet started to hurt too much, and so I had to just go up in size, and now I skate in 12s. This board is an 8.3, but this is a prototype shape that my distributor, Club Distribution, sent me. And if I'm honest with you guys, I don't like this shape because I believe it's some kind of twin-tailed shape. Like if you look, the nose and the tail are pretty much the same. And I absolutely detest that because most twin-tail boards, they sacrifice the length of the nose to make it closer to the length of the tail. And I hate short noses. My foot's pretty wide, so if you look at this, my foot's almost covering the whole of the nose. And I do pretty much all of my tricks inside because that gives you like better control of the board as opposed to out here. So it doesn't really work, doesn't give me a lot of room. And this board's a little bit shorter. The typical Club Distribution shapes that we use on our collage decks are different from this one, but they sent me this as a prototype, so I figured I'd try it out. Some of you guys might like it. I know twin-tailed shapes are popular these days, but it's not for me. My foot's I got a big old giant Frankenstein foot, and I also have very long legs, so I need space, you know. What do you do for knee health? I got bursitis, working on my ollie. So I still like traditional shapes.
I just got runner's knee on this one.
Oh man, runner's knee. So I got about 30% of a meniscus in this right knee. They had to scope it. I tore it, and then I was going to this quack who everyone thought was a good doctor, even though he's not a doctor, he's a chiropractor. But Ryan Sheckler went to him at some point. So, you know, skaters are much like if the popular guy does it, we follow him. I don't usually, but the sponsor I was writing for at the time, they were agreed to pay for us to go there for physical therapy. And he told me it wasn't torn and that I should just keep going to him. And Sean Hale from Birdhouse had a similar situation with this same quote unquote doctor and had to stop going because the doctor told him something wasn't wrong with him. Sean didn't think he was right and kept looking. And the doctor was like, you need to stop looking on the internet, you know? When I stopped going to that guy, found out that my knee had been torn, and I actually injured it again because it started the meniscus started to heal back improperly, and it like crunched against itself inside, and so they couldn't repair it. They had to scope it. So for knee health, I do a lot of squats, a lot of body weight squats and some weighted squats, right? Like my left ankle has crap mobility, but that just is what it is. I start my mornings off with these, right? And I've got to rotate this one out a little bit and back up, right? And I'm also doing, so we have these long stairs. There's about 4 sets, and I think there's like 20 stairs each. And so I do some runs up those, slow runs on my toes the whole times, up the whole thing 3 times, down the whole thing 3 times. I try to do that 3-4 times a week. There's a lot. Don't force yourself to focus on your board nor obstacle. If you got back 50-50 grind with an ollie, you should get over and deck as an example. Don't try to focus so much. I don't know about that, dude. Like I don't know what your level of skating is, but I know my level of skating. Like I've kickflip crook 13 stairs, and you got to focus on, your obstacle. I've nollie front boarded a 16 stair. I've back 360, 12 stairs, switch big heel, 12 stairs. I've nollie heeled out of a crooked grind down a pretty big rail and down other small rails. And if you're not focused on your trick, you ain't doing that. So that's not advice that I would advise you to listen to, because, you know, like most of the people that I skate with are pretty high level skaters like myself, and none of them would tell you that. In fact, we usually sit and give each other tips on what to focus on when you do a trick. It's all about what you focus on. Like when I'm doing that front shove it, if I don't have my foot in the right place, it's not going to work out at there. It's the reason why I've front shoved it onto a handrail, onto a circle rail, and been able to back 50 down it, or I could front shove it onto a board slide down a rail. You have to focus to be able to do things. Skating is no different from anything else you do in life. For instance, go and try to play a guitar solo and not focus, right? You're gonna use some muscle memory, but your hand's gonna feel different every time. So you're gonna need some amount of focus. And I'm a pretty decent guitar player as well. So I've been through different levels of guitar playing as well. You gotta be focused. That's not advice that I would follow. That Hollywood nollie was crazy. Thank you. 50-50 is all about mentally committing properly. It is, but you also have to be over the ledge properly, and that takes focus, guys. You're not gonna be able to skate without being focused, right? Like I get onto this 50-50 because I know where to aim, right? I'm looking at it the entire time. If I want to try to back big spin onto it, I'm gonna have to be focused as well. I gotta, right? If I want to get up there, I gotta focus. There's no situation in skating where you won't be focused. If you did a video on your warm-up routine, if you haven't, can you do a tray flip? Let's try a tray flip. Let's try a tray flip. I haven't done one yet. I guess I can land one. That didn't feel great though. Woo! It's a little weird. The length on this board's definitely different, but here we go. That one felt pretty good though. Hopefully, let me know if you could see that. I struggle keeping them centered. Too much focus. I really don't think there's a such thing as too much focus. I think you're getting into the weeds with that. You're either focused or you're not. Like, because skateboarding movements are complex movements, so you got to be focused on them. Skateboarding is not what you do on a skateboard. Nothing about it is intuitive. So there's no natural way that it's just gonna work. So it requires focus, because the reason that I was able to kickflip 6 times in a row earlier was because I knew exactly what to focus on and what not to focus on, you know? So when you're looking at the obstacle, at what point do you look back down at your feet and then look back at the obstacle? Okay, so that's different based on the speed you're going. I'm gonna go over to the rail and then I'm gonna set the phone up and hopefully you can see where I'm looking when, and then that'll help you. Okay, so I'm looking at the obstacle now. Now I'm down at my feet. And once I looked down at my feet, I didn't take my eyes off my feet the whole time. And that's why I was able to pop out. And I was focused. What was I focused on? I was focused on how close I was to the rail so that I knew how I had to pop. When I got on, I was focused on which side of the rail my body was on, because I can obviously either pop back out to the same side like I did, or I could pop out to the other side. I was also looking at the phone screen so I didn't land on my phone. And the only reason I'm able to replicate that feeble is because of the amount of focus. And the only reason I'm harping on this idea of focus and too much focus is because I think that there's a lot of information out there that kind of will lead beginners in the wrong direction. Like, I'll tell you that I am extremely focused on every trick that I do. And yes, certain things you're just not gonna do. Especially like you guys are watching skating today. Like you see the stuff that Gabriel Summers is grinding, stuff like that. Nice conversation for sure, Paradox. Definitely. That's why I do these live streams, because it's important for us to have these conversations. Because you and I, like, I don't know how long you've been skating, but I'm guessing you've been skating pretty long. Us having a conversation like this is going to help so many beginners where I don't know how old you are, but I know how old I am. And they're just, nobody would share information like this when I was learning how to skate. Like, people would do seemingly everything in their power not to share information. And I know people who are still like that are like, if I tell you my secret to this trick, don't tell anybody, you know? I'm 42 next month. Nice. I'm 39. So you lived through the same era. Oh, and you probably have some people that are in the same boat. Like, I don't know, maybe I just know some out there people, but recently, like, I've talked to people about certain tricks and they're like, if I tell you how I do this, don't tell anybody. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell anyone out of respect to them, but like, I think that that's pretty ridiculous. You know, like, I think like, if I know something, I'm going to share it with whoever needs help with it, you know? I'm 26-year-old beginner. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You're welcome. 39, Benjamin. Same age. Can you do a nose grind, please? Sure. Peripheral vision plays a big role. So I am looking at the object with my peripheral vision for sure. Now for this nose grind, I'm going to have to figure out how to set up the camera so that you guys can tell it's a nose grind and that I'm not just BSing you with the 50-50. I'm going to do a 50-50 first because I haven't been grinding down this. Here we go. It was so ridiculous, like such a difficult undertaking. Have a good one. All right, let's get the nose grind. Let's get the nose grind. For some reason, nose grinds are easier for me on rails than they are on Hubbas these days, which is crazy because I used to be terrified of them on rails. And then once they clicked, it's pretty easy. I don't know. That was fun. Okay, so last couple of minutes here. I have started skating after 20 years again. I started in the middle of the 90s and my actual trucks are, whoa, those 2000s era Ventures were built with tanks and they turned so well. Like, dude, that's crazy. Hold on to those trucks. So like Seva Krupkov, he rides for Venture still. I used to ride for Venture. For like 6 or 7 years I rode for Venture and we both loved him, but he actually had an affinity for the older trucks. And when they switched the trucks, I actually liked the newer ones better. But what Seva did is he would keep the hanger from the new ones, but he went and bought base plates from the old ones because the geometry of the older base plate, so the one you're talking about, they kept it for a long time. He went and bought all the old ones from LA Skate, which is a store here in LA where they used to buy goods from skaters. So like when I was amateur, I'd be in there like every month selling a part of the product I got from my sponsors. And that's what helped a lot of us survive. Like a lot of the other professional and amateur sponsored skaters that I met, it was in LA Skate while we were selling products so we could pay our bills, you know. but he has old gear. I'm talking, he's got my favorite skate shoe ever, Declines. And the first, not the crappy Declines when they switched their manufacturing, and basically the new Select shoes that Tomieto makes are the same thing as the later era Declines, which were terrible shoes. But the first Declines, when Melcher and Ragdoll and Gareth Stir rode for them, where they were kind of shaped like Converse, but the sole was thicker and they had a really thick insole. I skated the Hollywood 16 for like more than an hour, multiple times in those shoes, no heel bruise, no problem with my foot. When I finally got sponsored by Decline, they would send me like 4 pairs every month, and I would only skate 1, maybe 2 of them every month. They were that good of a shoe, but they were too good for the time they were made. Advice for learning switch flips, switch heels. It's hard for me to give just, it's difficult for me to give blind advice on tricks like that. What I'd say is pay attention to your regular heel flips and kick flips. But one tip that I can give, I know for me, for switch flips especially, my shoulder position matters quite a bit. Whereas for a regular kick flip, so if I'm doing a regular kick flip, my shoulder can be here, it can be kind of here, it can be kind of there, and it'll work. But with the switch flip, my shoulders, I gotta keep them right here, and I've gotta come straight down. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So pay attention to your shoulder position for your switch flips, because the shoulder position matters for me. And I was just skating with, I think it was my friend Dirt Weasel last week, and he was saying something similar about switch flips. Practice the motion of the kickflip, but switch. It's not that simple. Your body's not the same on both sides. That's the reductionist kind of advice that we gave back in the day. As someone who, I've switch flipped a 10 stair, I've switch flipped over a picnic table, switch flipped onto a back lip. Your switch flip's not the same as your kick flip. You talk to anybody who's a pretty high level skater, they'll tell you that. They're different tricks because your body is different on both sides. It's just like learning how to box and then going to do it southpaw, right? There's very few people who are as good at both, and there's a good reason for that. When you've practiced skating long enough to be able to start doing a switch flip, your body has started to wear in a certain way, and so you're gonna have to approach the switch flip different because your body doesn't feel the same on both sides. Your body has inconsistencies from side to side. Sometimes it feels like skaters are anti-nuance. Yes, there's a great deal of that in skateboarding, anti-nuance. That's the old, like, kind of jockish mentality that went around in skating back in the day when I was coming up, and that's what I'm not about. Like, I have experience behind everything that I say, and all the tricks that I give advice on, I've actually done. So I can say that, like, especially for switch flips. Switch flip is one of the most difficult tricks to do well out of all the tricks. Like your switch front heels and all that are actually much easier. Once you get to the point of experience, your switch backside flip, that's even going to be easier to a degree, but a straight nice switch flip is very hard to accomplish. And switch heels, there's another thing where for me with the switch heel, my shoulder is going to be turned almost this way, and I'm going to kick out that way. I kind of have to roll for that trick or it doesn't work, but to get it to work. Whereas with my regular heel flip, I'm just trying to keep my body straight and parallel with the board and just kick out. So they're very different tricks. They're very different tricks. And your body's not the same as mine, so you might have to rotate your body slightly the other way to make your switch flip work. Once you get into those more difficult tricks, it just gets more difficult. And I mean, you don't have to think of it as nuanced as I do, but like, you know, like if you want to replicate your tricks with any relative amount of consistency, you'll have to, especially for more difficult stuff. Not your native language. Yeah, that's okay. I get it. The translation is hard, but that's okay. Love me a nice switch front heel on flat. Oh man, when I can land them, I love them too, but they have gotten so much more difficult for me lately. I push Mongo switch. I like the Switch Mongo. Like, I was just talking about this in the comment section of the video. I like the way Switch Mongo looks. Like, I liked it when Keenan Milton and Kareem Campbell and Gino Iannucci and Stevie Williams and all those guys pushed Mongo Switch. Costin did it back in the day, I believe, too. I like your vids. Thank you, Paradox82. Really appreciate it. That being said, do you think some lower trucks might help ease a steep kick, or is it not worth it? Yes, lower trucks will help that, but whenever I skate lower trucks, I get more wheel bite. So, because I used to have lower trucks on my smaller setup, which is what this is. Like, this is a setup that usually I would only skate for ledges, but I'd already set this one up and I was too lazy to put together a whole new complete. Yeah, Costin is where I got it from. Yeah, dude, like those OG dudes with the Switch Mongo and Tiago now. Now, I will say, if you dress the way that I dress, the Switch Mongo doesn't look as cool. Like, for someone who like has my shape and like my style of dressing, doesn't look as cool to push Switch Mongo. That's not why I learned to push Switch normal. I actually learned it because Mike Kredovics, the guy who taught me how to get more comfortable at skating Switch, he told me that the best way to do it was to just not worry about doing tricks and to do this. So let me flip the phone over. He said just straddle my board like this. Now, I'm goofy, so I'd usually step up like this. He said just step up the opposite way and just force yourself to push. And he told me wherever you go, force yourself to go there, switch. And that's what I did. And that's why I got so comfortable at Switch. Like, let's see if I can do this first try. The other day I flipped in first try. Well, I could definitely hit a piece of mulch first try. Let's try a switchback tail. It really helped my confidence and comfort. And so, what up, Jackson? Because of that, I pushed the regular way switch. But like, if you got a certain style, that Switch Mongo just looks great. JP Souza still does it. Yeah, those pebbles sucks. Exactly, the baggy pants Switch Mongo. Yes. I love it. I push Mongo fast nowadays as well. Feel more control. I'm saying this again. It might be a controversial opinion to people from our generation, but I have no problem with people pushing Mongo, and I never did. I think that if you push Mongo and it's easier for you to skate, and you're not trying to have a career where you've got people telling you can't push Mongo, because that's the thing, is your sponsors, people that are going to sponsor you, they will enforce that you have to stop pushing Mongo. It happened to my close friend Ramon Black when we were growing up, and once we got good enough to get sponsors, he pushed Mongo, and all of our sponsors, I won't say who, they made us, no, they didn't make us, because I never pushed Mongo. They made him stop pushing Mongo, and I was with him day in and day out when he was fixing his Mongo, and it was such a pain for him. So me seeing how painful it was for him to learn that, now I understand that that was a function of him wanting a career in skateboarding. So I think that if you don't want a career in skateboarding, there's absolutely no reason to torture yourself like that. Push Mongo and just fucking enjoy skateboarding, like, because this stuff is all about fun, you know? It's all about fun. Ooh, yeah, that is ridiculous. If you're talking about the switchback tails, crazy, thank you. Just learned regular when I started back. Oh man. Do you think that tray flip more like an overrated varial flip or a tweaked 360 shove? No, they're very different tricks. So like, I do varial flips. Today, I actually varial flip downstairs easier than tray flips because like I started popping my tray flips up things a lot, and you don't tray flip up when you're trying to tray flip down things. You want to get comfortable pushing your tray flip outward. So my varial flip down things works way better. And that's just how it goes. Like, I'm not good at tray flipping downstairs anymore. So the varial flip and the tray flip are very different tricks. You also, you can catch the varial flip with both feet, whereas the tray flip, I catch it with just my front foot, you know? Aren't tray flips assisted pressure flips? Yes, they are. Well, all of your tricks are pretty much some kind of pressure flip. It's just some of them have a flick, some of them don't. But yes, your tray flip is, your front foot is just assisting it not to flip over like a heel flip. So it's rolling off of your front foot slightly. And yes, that's how tray flips are done. That's how the good tray flips are done. Like, you can do the old school Jason Lee style tray flips, which are much harder to make look good, the other way. Hit the like button, dudes. Yes, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna stay on here for a few more minutes and then I'm gonna jump off, because in like 13 minutes, I'm gonna have a rowdy group of boys come in here that I gotta teach. One of them's already here. He's playing with his yo-yo, which is where I got that from the other day. Somebody was like, I watched your video and you're like talking about yo-yos. That's why it was fresh in my mind. I try to use examples of things that are fresh. That's why I talk about MMA and BJJ so much, because I'm watching content about them and training. So I try to use analogies that are fresh in my mind, or music, because I like to just use them to help explain things. SSBSTS lurking, yes. Shout out to the yo-yo kid. His name is Jackson, and he's so good. He's getting so good. He's almost landing his kickflip. I started teaching him when he could barely push. He's got like back and front disasters on little transition. He's got front feebles, front side grinds. Kid is that kid, and that kid like works. Like, I teach him on Tuesdays. I teach another group at the same skate park on Thursdays, and I see him here skating all by himself every Thursday. Like, he really wants it. He's really about it, and he's only 10 years old. So sky's the limit for that kid. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'm gonna say thank you guys for watching, and hit the like button and check out one of my other videos. Let's see, how do you do a coaching session online? Just like you Zoom, I want to do one sometime. So yeah, Daniel, if you're one of the Patreon members, I do it once a month with those guys. It's 25 bucks, and you get like a half an hour video session with me, and then you get all the other Patreon stuff. And I basically have you set up a tripod, and I'll have you try tricks, and then I'll watch and I'll give you critiques. And then throughout the month after that session, you're able to send me videos of you doing the tricks, and I'll send you critiques of them and stuff like that. For skateboarding is real, and I'm so in love with it. So am I. Even my old beaten up body, I still love it. I can't stay away from it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. And I will be back to you guys soon. This was a long one. This is almost an hour and a half. I lost my voice talking too much.